All right, this video is for those of you that are trying to decide, I'm taking some classes here at Palomar in water technology. Do I pursue a certificate? Do I pursue an associate or even a bachelor's and beyond? Is it worth it? Is it not? So I just want to real quickly break it down. At least here at Palomar College, and this is spring semester 2025. Remember that things change. The certificate of achievement requires 30 units in either water or wastewater courses to get the certificate, right? So now you have a certificate of achievement in, say, wastewater technology from Palomar College. The difference between that and the associate, you still need those same 30 units of water classes. The difference is, though, you're going to pair them with another 30 units, which is about 10 classes, of general education classes, your GE classes. When you pair the GE with these water or wastewater specific classes, then you can get an associate degree in water or wastewater technology. Then you can if you decide to go further, you can take these 60 units and you can transfer those to a different university, say a Cal State San Marcos down the street here, to pursue a bachelor's degree or even beyond if you decide to go that route. Now, for those of you that are like, okay, I've taken, a couple classes in the water program, I got a couple industry certs. I'm certified in backflow, water distribution, and water treatment. Do I continue on to get the certificate? Is it worth it? Well, I want to kind of just think of it in terms of time versus money. So right here on the x-axis, this is going to represent time. And right here on the y-axis, this, of course my marker's not working now that I'm recording, is going to represent our money, right? So we have time versus money. And so you're going to be starting out at some point here right at the bottom when you first start out in the world of water, right? And over time, you're going to get slow incremental raises. Some of this is just sort of step increases that you get every year. As you get an evaluation, you move up. Sometimes though, you might take you might get a bump from, say, a grade 1 to a grade 2 operator or something like that, where rather than this normal trend line here, you kind of go up a little bit, right? That angle increases a little bit. And you go over time goes, you're getting your step increases. Well, at some point in your career, you're going to get to a point where you're sort of capped if you don't have formal education, right? Now, there are many folks that get to this point and are happy here, right? You can make a very much a good living wage. You can be making six figures without any kind of degree. But let's just say now you're at a grade 3 operator, and the next position is to get to that supervisor. Well, in order to get to that supervisor, you might have to have a certificate of achievement or even an associate degree. And so the difference is if you have that degree already when this time comes, you're ready for that promotion. So instead of being capped here, let's just say this is where you would be limited if you didn't, you can now move above that trend line versus if you didn't, you're going to stay right here for your career. At some point, you're going to be capped out, at least in the public sector, right? Depending on, and of course, there are oddities to this. But if you get that associate degree, it allows you to get that next pay raise where you can then continue to kind of work your way up. Step increases, you move into other positions, right? At some point, if your goal is to get into management, then you're going to need to have a bachelor's degree, a BS or a BA degree. This is going to be sort of your upper ceiling. So now you've taken a bigger jump into like a supervisor position. This is going to allow you to continue to make more money. Now, for those of you working in public agencies, most of you are going to end up being a part of what's called CalPERS, which is the California Public Employee Retirement System. Now, CalPERS, the way it's currently calculated for those that are joining now, your pay at the end when you do retire is based on the 3-year average of your highest paid years. So what you want to be thinking about is if we didn't get the associate degree and we were capped out here, by the time you get to say this is your end point here where you're ready to retire, by the time we get to this retirement point, your retirement is just going to be based off of, say, this pay right here. And for some of you, this might be great. This might be adequate, right? Depending on how you live, where you live, all that exciting stuff. But if you continue to get a higher degree and you continue to make more money, this number at your retirement is going to be calculated based on your 3 highest paid years. And so for the most part, for most of us that are going to be working in public agencies, not having an associate or certificate, and as you work, you have a bachelor's or even master's degrees, this can limit where you end up going to, the types of positions, how high you can climb that ladder. Now, that said, you can make 6 figures at a water agency as, say, an operator without having an associate degree. It's totally possible. It's totally doable. But I get quite a few students that come back into the program 10, 15 years after they entered the world of water, and they're here now. And they've realized, you know what, I'm here and I'm sort of capped out where I'm at. And so they come back to finish up the rest of their courses, right? To finish that up. But maybe they could have had the promotion right here, but they didn't have the degree. Well, they had to wait, right? So now they've got to finish it up. Now you're talking a year later, 2 years, 3 years, however long it is. Now, from this point, now you're going to be starting along that same trend line as you were before, right? So now let's say you get the promotion, you work your way up. The point at which you finish your career, the point at which you're going to be retiring off of, is very different depending on which trend line you go on, right? And one of the factors, there's a lot, degree's not the only one, but one of those factors is whether you have a formal education or not. So in the notes on this video, I'll link our website, our catalog for course requirements, for degree requirements, all that kind of stuff. Just keeping in mind that this is not always the case, right? You can work for a private company where education requirements aren't as stringent, or you can get lucky, or maybe your district is a little bit loose on those requirements. But for most of us in public agencies, at some point, not having a degree is going to cap you where you're at. So you want to kind of think about what is your plan over the next 5, 10, 15. If you look like me, it's 25 years, right? So you're looking at possibly retiring. All right.